So I want to ask you a little bit more about your experience as a consultant. You said, how many years did you say you've been doing this?
8.5.
Incredible. And
Yeah.
so you reached a point where you started doing this full time, and that's not everybody's experience. For many people, this is a side hustle, and that's great too. It takes a certain amount of time and investment to decide to do that full time. But for folks who do, and whether you're doing it side hustle, full time, either way, there are lots of benefits that come with being a consultant besides just making some extra money. I'm curious, in your experience in 8 years of doing this, what have you found as some of the byproducts, no pun intended, of being a consultant besides just earning some extra income?
Yeah. Michael, I never realized that I was a little bit of a carrot chaser until I started doing my
Hmm.
Pampered Chef business. And when you get these little incentive trips and products you can earn for free and special things, man, it was really a big driving force for me to be like, I gotta get that this month. So that was a big one. I do love that I get to be a mom through the day and adult at night and have that flexibility, especially with my husband being out of town a lot. So um, I'm not gonna lie, I tried a couple jobs and those jobs, but they just didn't have. I need the flexibility, so I
Hmm.
love that I can um, decide when I do my business.
I love that. Yeah, and so that idea of like putting in a lot of time and hard work to work towards incentives and rewards and earning free products, that's a cool thing that was something that was motivating for you. You talked about flexibility. What is that? I mean, as a parent, as someone who sounds like sometimes you go days or even weeks as a solo parent, while your husband is on the road. What does that flexibility look like, and what does that enable you to do?
Yeah, I it was really important for me to be home and present with my kids. So
Mhm.
I didn't want in have been and becoming a mom. I didn't want to send them off to daycare, and I can appreciate sometimes that's for many people it's not an option to be able to stay home, but for me it has been, and so I really never take for granted the fact that I get to be present with my kids, and if they ask me to come to their school function, I can, or my kids, they're both into cheerleading right now. So I'm in my cheer mom era and picking up from school and driving to cheer and just being able to be present. It's really important to me for sure.
I love that. That's wonderful. Okay, last question for you, Shannon, and then we'll wrap up from there. So you mentioned, you said the rapid prep mandolin is one of your favorites. What are some of the other products that you have really appreciated on a personal level?
Definitely the stoneware. My bar pen is 27 years old.
Yeah.
So the stoneware I absolutely love, but just those things that make life easy in the kitchen. I always say to people, if you love to cook, you love Pampered Chef and you love our products. But if you hate to cook, man, you need our products. Like they make life so much easier in the kitchen, and having two young kids and all the stress and time restraints and just all the things, it's so much nicer to have things like our air fryer or our quick cooker that I can just set and forget and kind of go on, and our blender too, making soups, like making a soup and going and just playing blocks with my girls for a couple of minutes while it cooks, and I don't have to stand there and um, babysit it, right? Those are the things that I've really appreciated over the years that Pepper Chef makes.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Shannon. Thank you for sharing your time and your talent, and the way that you kind of lead and use your skills to bless other
Oh,
people and
hey,
bless your
Michael,
family.
can we
Yeah.
ask one more question that
Oh,
came
sure.
into the Q&A?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Shannon, for you, Catherine Pitts wanted to know, how long did it take for you to build your business?
Well, I was pretty consistent with reaching out and really trying to get outside that friends and family zone. So I would say I started, it's hard to say because for the first little bit, I didn't do very much. So I would say I was about 2 years in when I kind of decided, yeah, I'm in it full, like I'm in full 100%. So um, I'm going to say that, but honestly, that's not a really good depiction though, because I didn't get going right away either. So
Hmm. That's good. Yeah, everyone's timelines are going to look a little different and
Yeah.
different capacity to put time in and put in the work. So
Yeah.
you know, there's no two timelines are going to be alike. So, but that's cool to know and good perspective on what your story was like. So love that. Thank you, Jackie, for that. So thank you again, Shannon.
Yeah.
Real quick note for anyone who watched last week, I want to apologize. I apologize to Megan for this already, but if you watched last week, she was making these garlic knots and she had put them in, and when we started the Q&A, we said, okay, we'll come back and we'll see the knots when they're done. And when we started the Q&A, Megan said, okay, here's the knot. The knots are all ready. And I just completely missed that and blew right past it. And so I blew past her saying that and never showed you all the finished garlic knots. So apologies to Megan, apologies to you all. I'm sure they were amazing knots, but I wanted to apologize for that. But anyway, more importantly, thank you all for joining us. And next week is going to be something really, really special because next week we are celebrating our 44th anniversary on the actual day of our 44th anniversary. And we will be doing that with founder and chairman Doris Christopher. And we did 3 giveaways tonight. Next week for our 44th anniversary, we're doing 44 giveaways. And there will be 2 recipes for casual and classy entertaining. So you do not want to miss this party. It's going to be a great night. So be sure to register and we will join. And yeah, it's going to be a great time for that next Tuesday. So hope to see you all there. Ooh, look at that popcorn. I'm not making the same mistake again. There we go. That looks great. Thank you for showing that. So cool how it becomes the bowl. So this has been a lot of fun. Thank you again, friends. We're going to sign off, and we hope to catch you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.